Today we're going to be talking about something called the Agriculture Revolution. Now, this whole section will be broken down in two videos, and this is part one. So when we look at the word Agriculture Revolution, we got to break that down first. So agriculture just means farming, so anything to do with farming, and revolution means change, and change can be both good and bad. So basically what we have here is a change in farming. And so this first point we see right here, it says better technology and practices equals more food. So basically what's happening is they're inventing new technologies and they're doing things a little differently when it comes to farming. And by them doing this, they are now able to grow more food and feed more people, which makes the population just grow. And when I mean they, I'm talking about these European farmers who are now getting a little smarter on how to grow food. And this next point here, we see more food equals population growth. So all they're saying is that because there's more food, they can feed more people, and the population is growing. Example here, in the year 1000, there are 35 million people. And then 340 years later, in the year 1340, there are 80 million. And this is because there is more food to feed more people. And because the population is growing, these small European towns are now growing into big cities. Cities that we now know today, such as Berlin in Germany, Warsaw in Poland, or London in England. One of the first inventions we're going to be talking about is something called the new harness or the horse collar. Now, they invented a new type of collar which helped the horse pull heavier loads. So if we see in this picture here, we have a guy riding this horse, and there's a cart attached to the horse here around the collar, and the horse is able to pull this cart full of what looks like stones. Same thing here in the background. These horses can carry more and carry farther with this new type of collar. Here's an example of what the collar looked like. So the old collar, the ropes here where the farmer would pull on the horse were attached here at the top, and the collar would go right around the horse's neck. Now looking at this picture, what problem can we see? Well, it's pretty obvious. It looks like that horse is being constantly choked as the farmer pulls the rope here. So that causes the horse to work slower and not as much can get done. However, over here with this new collar, that's being more around the neck like this and the ropes on the side, that allows the horse to not get choked and to work harder and faster and pull more, which helps to bring more food and supplies to where they need to go. Here's another picture example. Right here you see it's more on the side here, right around the horse's neck. This collar's here, but everything is being pulled is more on the sides. So it's not being pulled up where the horse can choke. It's just on the sides. This next invention, and one of the most important inventions, is the heavy plow. This was something that was used to dig up the earth, because when you plant seeds, you can't just throw them on the ground and say grow. You have to dig up the earth, plant them properly, and give them the proper food and water that plants need in order to grow. As we see in this picture, this is what the plow looks like. It's being pulled by this cattle here. And all it's doing is digging up the earth right here. As you can see in the background, that's the earth that was dug up. Here's the fresh earth that still needs to get dug up. So with this plow being heavier, it could dig deeper and bring up more fresh, fertile soil to plant the seeds in and to grow more crops and better crops. Another invention we're going to talk about is the windmill. Now we've probably all seen a windmill before. It looks something like this. And why this was important was, well, when farmers grew grain or wheat, they could take the seeds, and you see here he's got a bag full of seeds. He'll walk inside the windmill here, put it under what's called a grindstone, and that grindstone will constantly grind down the seeds until it's turned into a powdery substance called flour. And we all know we need flour in order to make bread. Here's a picture of a windmill again. He's bringing the grain into here where it'll eventually get crushed. What made the windmill so great was now farmers didn't have to crush the grains by hand. They had basically a machine powered by wind to crush all the grain for them. So now they can make more flour faster, which in turn makes more bread, which in turn feeds more people and grows the population. The last thing we're going to talk about for part one here is the grindstone. This is what the inside of the windmill would have looked like. Right here is where the grain would have been placed right here. These large stone things would have went around in a circle like this and crushed the grain repeatedly until it was turned into flour. These gears up here move the stones, and these gears are obviously powered by the wind outside. This is the end of part 1.